to another episode of Watch It Wednesday. I'm Matthew, and I'm a social media coordinator. So today, in the spirit of October, I'm going to be talking about Castlevania Season 1. So this originally appeared on Netflix, and is actually a little different than other anime titles in that it was, for one, it's based off of a video game series, and two, it's originally debuted on Netflix, so it was a US production. So if you didn't know, Castlevania is kind of a long-running video game series. This one in particular is based off of Castlevania 3, Curse of Darkness for NES, with elements of Symphony of the Night on PlayStation. So Castlevania Season 1 takes place in a fictitious version of 15th century Romania. So there's a lot of Catholic church references and other historical events that were going along in Romania at the time. However, this is not at all a historical show. It's decidedly dark fantasy. So the series follows Trevor Belmont, who's a disgraced vampire hunter from the Belmont clan, a sorceress named Sypha, and a half vampire, half human warrior named Alucard, who's the son of Dracula. It just so happens that Dracula is also the vampire lord that they're hunting. The reason for this being, aside from being a blood-sucking monster, is that Dracula's wife was a human, and she was killed by members of the church and of town for them believing that her interest in science was witchcraft. And this makes Dracula vengeful and tries to besiege a town with all kinds of demons and monsters. So it's up to Trevor and his sidekicks, if you will, to save the town. One thing that fans really like about this is that it's probably the single best anime adaptation probably of all time in either live action or animated format. So if you're a fan of the games, you'll recognize locations and characters and monsters and spells and some of the plot elements, but at the same time they're fleshed out a bit more. So the characters are given more depth, and it's definitely not too gamey, so to speak. So it's very dark. The characters have their faults, and sometimes the humans cause more anger and grief than their demonic counterparts that also somewhat have more human elements to them, so it makes them a bit more sympathetic to the audience. One thing that's also good about the show is the animation. The fight scenes are excellent, well choreographed. They're really exciting to follow, and they're a little bit different every time. But it's not too over the top like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or more of your shonen type anime. It's a bit more grounded in reality, while at the same time being distinctly anime styled. So I would recommend Castlevania Season 1 if you are a fan of the Castlevania games, but even if you're not, there's something to be appreciated here. So that's Castlevania Season 1. I would definitely recommend it. And if you're in the mood for more horror titles, I would definitely keep an eye on the Right Stuff Anime blog. We'll be having our recommendations for our top anime horror titles of all time. So thank you, and I'll see you next week.